Hi, today we are going to do Khan Academy Array Problems Set 2, number 3. Okay, so the problem asks us, given an unsorted array of non-negative integers, find a contiguous subarray which adds to given number. So we're given this list of integers and a target sum of 33. Our output should give us the indices where that sum is found, which is at position 2 and 4. So position 2, 0, 1, 2. So from 20 to 10, because 20 plus 3 plus 10 gives us 33. Okay, so how are we going to go about doing that? So when I was doing this problem, I thought, okay, I could have two pointers, right? I can have a low pointer and a high pointer. And based off certain conditions, I increment one pointer, or the other pointer. For this problem, how I see it is when the sum, because let's say how we're going to solve this is, like I said, we're going to have a low and a high pointer. We'll start our low at 0 and our high at 1. And we'll add these two guys together. That'll give us 5. We basically want to ask if the sum, or the say temporary sum, if temp sum is equal to the sum return low and high indices. So that means, like, okay, we have this temporary sum that's adding up our low and high. If the temporary sum is lower than the target sum, which 5 is less than 33, what we want to do is then take the high variable index and we want to increment it to the next position, which is this second position. And now we want to add the current high onto the temporary sum, which is 5. So 20 plus 5 gives us 25. It's still lower than 33. So we want to increment the high again to 3. Now it's 28, I mean. Still lower. So we want to increment our high again. And then we add a 10. Oh, 38. That's not lower than 33. It's higher. So what we want to do in that case is delete 1 from our sum and move the low up. So now our low would have been 37. This is still not true. It's greater. So we want to move our low up again. Move our low up here. And we subtract the 4 from 37. And that gives us the answer we're looking for. So based on those two conditions, we will move the high and the low pointer. So let's do that. So we're going to say let low is going to be equal to 0, because we're going to start at the 0th. We're going to say high is equal to the 1th. And we're going to have an accumulator variable. And we're just going to set it equal to array at low plus array at high, which just means the elements at the 0th and the 1th position starting out. Cool. And then we're going to say we want to keep on doing our adding and subtractings and everything else in a while loop. So we want to say while the low is less than or equal to the high. Let's do some stuff here. And our first question we want to ask is if the accum, which is our temp, is it equal to the sum? If it is, just return low and high turn right in place, because we know that that must be where it lives. If that's not the case, what we want to ask is if the accum is less than the sum. If that's the case, we want to increment our high, so move it from 4 to 20, and then we want to add on to the accum, plus equals array at high. Now, the reverse is true. If it's greater, we want to take away from the front. Minus equals the array at the current low, and now increment the low. So -1, and then move it up to 4, and the process continues. And eventually, we'll either find it, and if we don't, we will just return null. And this is done in time complexity of O(n). Since the worst case scenario, we'd have to go through every single integer and add it up. And the space is O(1), since we're just simply doing math. And that's how you solve this problem. Thank you.